Okay, I got called to the office and I've been pestering. Okay, listen, to be an art teacher, I feel that you have to be just a little fun, glittery, colorful nuisance to get what you need, okay, to be an advocate. Anyway, so I've been in the office and I've been asking questions like, hey, do we have any updates on the grants? What about the grants? Because, you know, it's November and I still don't have an update. Today I was in the office. No official word yet, but my admin gets first notice, and my admin told me today that my grant got partially funded. So I don't have the official email yet, but I do have that update, so boom. Last month on Art Show Secrets. It is October.
We'll be talking about visiting artists.
We're making clay pumpkins.
The main thing that I'm working on is literally making projects.
I just made these.
We're gonna talk about how to get paid for your art show.
My mid-level class is working on comic books and graphic novels.
So that about sums it up for the month of October.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey y'all, I'm Jenn Russell and I am a high school art teacher in North Texas.
Hello everyone, I am Sarah Krajewski, elementary art teacher in Cambridge, Wisconsin.
It's November and
I'm feeling like both of these things.
I am getting ready for our mid-year show.
So we're making projects, we're staying busy, we got a bunch of things going on.
And I'm also contacting vendors.
We're kind of prepping our members for how they'll be helping with the art show later.
And just kind of wrapping up the semester, or starting to wrap up the semester with my kids.
And mounting and framing some artwork. So be sure to check out what we're doing this month, as well as like and subscribe so you can follow along to see what happens in November. So let me show you how we're prepping for the art show.
Take 10 for my name intro. Okay, here we go. Hey y'all, I'm Jenn Russell and I'm a high school art teacher in North Texas. I'm too hyper, I'm too pumped, I'm too excited to focus from my grant reveal. So something new that we have started at my campus is a collaborative gallery night, including journalism, our food science labs, like our technology classes, fashion design, and we also include staff. So staff art is out there as well. And we bring it out into our academic hallway and just put it out for display so that the community can come and walk through our gallery. We are behind. In a shocking turn of events, we're behind. My students really took their time with their ceramics. I have a lot of students that have been traveling for athletics. I decided that instead of their watercolor piece, which is just a 2D piece, not just a 2D piece, but a 2D piece, we were going to submit their sculptures into our mid-year show. So we made really cool shoes. So we did paper mache shoes and they got to do a marketing unit with it. They had to make these posters selling their shoe and advertising for their shoe. Not only did we do recycled materials, they learned how to design their own shoe, make a color scheme, paint their own shoe. Now they have to advertise their own shoe. They turned out awesome. So we needed a little bit more 3D in our show. We always need more 3D. 3D is highly underrepresented for us. This is how we started. Then we paper mache'd. They weren't a fan of paper mache or the glue, but they did great. And their shoe shows off their personality and what they like. Also, they made them to size. It's a Birkenstock. When she put this on next to her actual shoe, it just looked creepily the same. I was like, wait, it's maybe a little too good. Why does it look the same? They really like the project and they're excited that it's gonna be for display so that they can talk about it. It's nice to see them excited.
A big part of what makes our art show run so smoothly is our art club. So I have just over 40 students in art club this year, which means I have it in two groups, blue group and a black group. And this year we did kind of like bleached t-shirts. So I'm about to screen print the cover or that little label on the front of our t-shirts. And I'm gonna get those ready to hand out to students. So that's kind of where I'm at with t-shirts, is getting them ready for students to have so they can wear them throughout the year and then wear them later for the art show at the end of the year. I have done art shirts lots of different ways, but I try to change it up every year so it's not always always the exact same if a student repeats from 4th to 5th grade. This year we did bleach, so you kind of do this 50% water, 50% bleach. Do it outside because it is bleach. I have students wear gloves, and then they created these little stencils and then just sprayed their bleach over the top of it. And I do kind of a quick version of a screen print where I have basically this sticky adhesive on a screen, and I'm just gonna pull screens without technically having it like emulsified onto my screen. It just helps to make it go a little bit faster, and then I can change the design each year or every few years if I want to show off the fact that we are an amazing art club.
In getting ready for the gallery night, we also have to mat our work. At the secondary level, at least for us, it is the expectation that every single thing that we submit to any art show is matted. So I know sometimes we like to mount. I've mounted some things, especially if they're mixed media, 2D, but also have 3D elements, it's hard to mat. So either way, we just need to make sure that everything is ready for display. So one of the things that we started to do was have a mat night with our students. I do have a mat cutter. It's really hard for my students to use, but I tend to just teach them how to do it. So I'm gonna show y'all what we do and how I teach my students to mat. We have to work with what we have, and I feel like that's the motto of being an art teacher and being an art student. You just have to trust the process. This is old stuff, so bear with me. She's a little wrinkled because we just moved classrooms and I got a little, the moving process was hard. But anyway, mounting on just foam board is what we do for photographs. Mounting is okay for certain contests, we do have to mat, but I teach my students how to mount their own photographs. And again, it is just on foam core. I just label it so that it doesn't get lost, or if it does get lost, it can come back to me or my student. But for mat night, I mentioned that they needed a mat, and we do recycle mats because some students like to just take their artwork. I usually keep the mat. Okay, here's where we get resourceful. And I know I'm moving around, but if this is your paper pad, save this. It's really good to back your mat. I gently tape it. I know, controversial, but I just secure it with painter's tape so that it's nice to the paper and it's nice to our mat. I know she's a little wonky here. Also, y'all, look at, this is like falling, it's November, okay? A parent donated a bunch of these, and I just wanted to show you that that's what I got over the summer. And then also I got a bunch of these as well. But I love just different openings because it allows my students to be creative. And if they see something like this, they're like, ooh, what if I make something that is 3D or goes above the mat? And the plethora of ideas that come from just looking at something is really awesome.
And as a friendly reminder, as we continue to talk about students creating work and about to present their work, I wanted to remind you about Flex Curriculum. Flex is a standards aligned curriculum with tons of lesson plans that include step-by-step instructions, project photo, and student facing handouts such as artist bios, assessments, and more. So this resource is called Preparing Art for a Presentation, and it's a great visual for students to see and remember the options. You can bring up with your students the fact that there are many ways to prepare artwork. So you can check out what that looks like and even kind of do it as a quiz for your students if you want to have it be just a little bit more interactive. If students are going to display art at the art show, what do they need to do and what do they need to know in order to get their piece displayed as best as possible? But remember that even if you're not a Flex user, you can head on over to the website and we will show you just a little bit more about it so you can figure out if it's something that you could use within your classroom as well.
My grant got partially funded, which is great because I over asked. That means that I have some display boards, which is fine. I'm used to piecing things together and kind of solving things on the spot, so this is great. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Finally.
Okay, something else that I'm constantly doing is taking pictures. Now, I don't necessarily do something with the pictures all the time, every day, posting them on social media or anything, but I do keep them so that when we have our display for the art show later in the school year, I can put up photos of what it was like within the art room when we were working on our project. I do have a lot of process pictures, and then it comes as like a twofold little gift. The first one is they get to be up for the art show. They show a little insight for what we do for our projects. And then secondly, it helps because at the start of the following year, I actually save all those process photos, put them up on a new board as a display, and then right when students come back to the beginning of the school year when there's not much to display, I'll be like, yo, check out what are we gonna create this year? And there's like hundreds of pictures up on this wall about the things that we've made. Those pictures also come in super handy for things like advocating for your art department, for the yearbook, for newsletters, for things that we're constantly working on. And it's been really nice to have a central place where I keep all of my photos and then know that those pictures will come in handy both in the physical form, but then also to help advocate for our program. Oh, just another quick confessional is the fact that I am filming this the day before Thanksgiving break. I have like 2 hours left before we leave for a couple days for Thanksgiving break. And I wanted to remind you, you can keep it simple. It doesn't have to be every single step going super, super crazy every day trying to get everything done. We're just gonna do some free choice in our sketchbooks with my last class of the day, and it's gonna be great. And they're gonna love it, and it doesn't need to be complicated. So this is my admitting, sometimes we just are gonna do some choice creating and the kids love it. So keep it simple. So a little tip that helps me stay organized when I'm working with an entire grade level of students and we're doing a similar project but just slight variations, I'll have each class work on a different color background. So here we're working on tints and shades and we're all doing these kind of tints and shades. When I hand stuff out, I don't have to worry about which class is which class, but I always know like, okay, 3W was the red, 3P was green. That way, when my students work on their nutcrackers and kind of work on these holiday themed projects, I can keep everything separate really quick. So when I display them, they have a lot of like color variety behind them, but it also helps me to organize it so that I can keep all of my classes separate.
All right, that wraps up the month of November.
We are still working on art show things and it's kind of always ruminating in my brain.
Make sure that you are subscribed and that you turn your notifications on so that you don't miss the next episode where we talk about
making sure I have everything slowly trucking along,
wrapping up the semester, storing artwork, and also getting ready to start contest season.
My goal is also to have more of these days than these days as we continue through the school year. So I'm curious, what do you do to help frame or mount your artwork to make it a little bit easier for yourself?
Let us know in the comments below.
And as always, join us next month so you can check out what we are doing to prepare for our art show happening at the end of the year.
See you soon for more Art Show Secrets.
See you later.
In the next episode of Art Show Secrets. All right, y'all. Sorry for this slight breakdown and the last confessional. I have to clean up my life and we had to pack up our whole life. We're finding a place to store everything because my normal storage spot got obliterated in our remodel. I should probably stop making that face.